There's a change happening in the way we live, the way we work, the way we spend our money and make our decisions. We are evolving to be more conscious in our actions in a way that serves the world and makes it a better place. Welcome to the Ethical Evolution. The Ethical Evolution podcast is brought to you by the Ethical Change Agency. I'm Bindi, CEO and founder, and I am honoured to bring you the stories of those who create change through paying it forward and giving back. Ethical business owners and holistic healers who are determined to create collective change in the world. Once we have a change in consciousness, and through collective change, we can become one. When the universe sent me my next guest, I knew it was a divine intervention. I quickly understood she was one of my tribe, and that our energy exchange from different sides of the world was potentially life-changing. Rae Calnan is based in Kent in the UK and is an internationally recognised Angelic Reiki Master Teacher Practitioner, certified in future life progression and past life regression, and a certified hypnotherapist. Rae helps people to transform their life and take control of their destiny and to become the self-sufficient, successful, intuitive, calm, focused person that they know is within them. I hope you enjoy this time with Rae as much as I did. Welcome, Rae, to the Ethical Evolution.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here, and at a time like this, I think it's even more important that we connect with each other from the different sides of the world. So you're coming to us from the UK and not far out of London in Kent. So thank you so much for joining us. What time of day is it there, just by the way?
It's 9:15 in the morning, so not too early.
All right. Well, it's almost 7 p.m. here on a Tuesday night, and I may be coming to you from the future. Is that right?
Yes.
I am.
No, from the past,
because
the past. We're on Wednesday morning now.
Oh, crikey. You're in the future. Okay. Here we
I'm
go
in the
then.
future. Which is quite handy, really.
It is. Yes. You can tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. So, Rae.
Lockdown.
Oh, lockdown. Yes. Everywhere's in lockdown. At the time of recording, guys, when you hear this, it's a bloody shitstorm right now in the world because we're all in lockdown. There's a pandemic happening for coronavirus. And so Rae is coming to us from the UK and I'm in Brisbane. So they're facing really strict lockdown measures as we speak. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about something really bloody cool, aren't we? So,
oh, most definitely.
Rae, can you tell us about your background and what you do?
Yes, certainly. Well, my background, it literally starts from a child. I came from a very spiritual background. My mum did psychometry. My aunts did tarot. We used to go to spiritualist churches as children. Used to pick up on energies and stuff like that. I didn't really know, it's just part and parcel of everything. But I was also one of those kids that was very questioning. And I know my mum now says, you used to wear us out because I'd always go, so how does this work? Why does that? What are we doing this? What, and I was always asking those questions. In fact, so much that I wanted to know how things worked. And I even persuaded them to buy me a microscope set. And in those days, children were allowed to play with scalpels. And
wow.
I was playing with the scalpel one day and I actually cut my finger. But rather than kind of like going, oh my God, I cut my finger, it's like, blood, I can look at my blood under the microscope. So I did that and they brought me a telescope because I wanted to look at the stars. And
oh my God, I was exactly the same. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and kaleidoscopes, they always fascinated me.
Mm.
Yeah, and I've since found out that because of the geometry, a lot of people on spiritual paths and that tend to follow that kind of like background, the kaleidoscopes of something that I really, really liked.
Yeah.
When they were children. And also, I always wanted to help people. I mean, I was one of those kids at school who had friends in the cool crowd, but also the geeky crowd.
Yeah.
And I didn't like children, other kids being picked on.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always look at people as for who they are. No matter what they do, bad or good, you know, I try and see them as who they are. You know, and it used to really annoy me that, you know, I mean, there was one girl who joined, and I mean, this was a tough time for her because it was kind of like when we were about 14. So you're coming in new into a school, and she came from quite a poor family, you know, and she looked a bit dishevelled. You know, kind of like, we don't really want to associate with her. And they were quite mean to her. And I'm kind of like, no, that ain't going to happen. So I deliberately made friends with her because it's like, you can't be left. And I actually formed a really good friendship with her. And that kind of like stopped the other kids kind of like picking on her. And then what was fascinating was years later, I think when we must have been about 19, and we were at a nightclub, and she's come in with her fella, and my God, she had blossomed. I mean, she was absolutely drop down gorgeous. And there were lots of people that had been at school that night for some reason. Just everyone was there, and you could see all the guys going, oh, you know, look at her and that. And people wanted to talk to her. She completely ignored them, came straight over to me, gave me a hug. And so like everyone was looking at me going, does she know that person?
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going on in people's lives or where they're going to go in the future. So you can't judge them by a split second meeting until you actually really get to know who people are. So, but by that time, I kind of like, the spiritual stuff was all there, and you know, and I was helping people. But as teen, you know, life gets in your way. You start working, and then around about 2000, I'd got to that point in my life where it's like, do you know something? There's a lot more to life than just going to work every day.
Yeah.
You know, what is it I can do? And it's kind of like, you know, try and fall back on my spiritual side. Angels started sort of like coming into my life then. I don't know how they started coming in, but they just started coming. But there wasn't a lot of angel stuff about at that time. I had to sign up for a Christmas catalogue to actually get angel statues because, unlike now, Doreen Virtue, Diane Cooper, Carl Gregg, etc., didn't exist.
Yeah.
At that point, or they were just starting out. But I thought there had to be more, and I actually had a tarot reading done.
Yeah.
And it said that I was going to be I was going to travel, and it would be a life-changing experience. But he came up with he said, I think it's going to be somewhere like Sri Lanka, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never thought about going to Sri Lanka. So after the reading, I thought, you know something, I'll just go online, look at Lonely Planet and see what they've got on Sri Lanka. But when I switched it on, they were doing an article on Peru. And I got involved, and I'm reading this article, and it's like, oh, that's really interesting. And a few days later, I turned on the TV, and Stephen Fry was doing a documentary on Peruvian bears. Oh, okay, this is a little bit of a coincidence. And I said, you know something, let's get some brochures on travelling to Peru. But although I was going by myself, I wanted to go in groups. And I actually, there were several brochures there that I got, and I'm looking at them. I can't really afford, you know, this is great, but I really don't have the money for this. And then at the time, I was remortgaging because my mortgage rate had run out and I was getting a new rate. And the mortgage company mucked it up, so they had to give me some extra money, or they had to give me some money back, which was the exact amount of this one trip, which actually was an Australian company called Toucan. And it was the exact amount. So it's like, I'm going to have to book this. And after I booked it, a woman I was working with, her grandfather passed away. And while she was clearing out his attic, you came across an old Lonely Planet guide to Peru and an old map of Peru.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it was like, and I have to admit, this was the best trip I've ever had. I mean, there were 10 of us, and we had someone from New Zealand, we had some Australians, some Canadians, some Americans, Irish, British, and there were 10 of us, and we just all clicked. I mean, it was like we were all meant to be on that trip together. It was like we'd all known each other for years and years.
Yeah.
And then when we did the 4-day Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, which was absolutely amazing. It's it's like, even though it's tough on some parts, you're kind of like, when you actually get to this sun gate and you actually see the sun come through at the direct angle and then come over Machu Picchu, you're like, I mean, on that day there must have been hundreds of people up there, even children, but you could have heard pin drop. That's how amazing it was. But then whilst I was there and I was walking around, I actually was standing on one of the platforms, and as I looked down, it only lasted a few seconds, I actually saw lots of Incans down below and myself talking to them.
Whoa.
Only lasted a few seconds. Now, if we wind back a little bit, I've always kind of been interested in the mind and past lives and stuff like that, but I haven't really done much with it. And then when I've come back from there, it's like, saying I need to make a change. I can't just work in an office every day. I need to do something else. So I came across Angelic Reiki, and I started working with that. And then a friend of mine did a hypnotherapy course, and she said, "Oh, I've got to do some past life stuff. Could I practice on you?" Yeah, okay, brilliant. So we set it up, and I sat down, or I lay down, and she took me back. And I went back to the 1800s, and I was a 10-year-old child it was either the French or the Spanish Pyrenees, quite poor, living in a stone house, but had a beautiful garden. But I was a very sick and lonely child, and I used to see other children going past, but I couldn't actually connect with them. And then I've actually seen and felt myself sit down with my back to a tree, and literally my heart stopped because I died as a 10-year-old child.
Wow.
It was like, I mean, there were obviously tears streaming down my face, but it was so peaceful.
Yeah.
And there were lots of butterflies and everything going around. Now, I don't know whether there were butterflies when I died as that child, or whether that was as a 10-year-old, as you die, that's what you saw, or whether it's me as an adult, for me to not be too emotionally upset of experiencing that death. The butterflies came in, but it was absolutely amazing. And it's kind of like, I really need to know more about this.
Yeah.
I really want people to experience this. And I started looking at more of my past lives, and I started healing those. And by healing those, I was able to move forward, with my life. I mean, a lot of past lives, I died at the hands of horses, killed by horses. And in this lifetime, I was nearly crushed by a horse.
Get out.
But by going and healing, doing that, I was able, when I was doing some volunteer work in Egypt, I was actually able to do Angelic Reiki on a horse without any fear of the horse. And I was actually with the horse. The horse was dying, but she wouldn't lay down. Princess Cinderella was the name, but she wouldn't lay down.
Oh.
So I was asked, can you do some Angelic Reiki? And if I'd still had my fear of horses, I would not have been able to stand there and do that. And it was absolutely amazing, because in 20 minutes she laid down, and I was with her when she passed. And it was just like, oh my God, that was so amazing. There was still something I was thinking that's missing, And then I came across future life progression, and going into the future and seeing myself in the future and knowing what I was doing. It's like, I can do that now and bring that quicker. And it's like, if you knew 5 years ago what you knew now, yourself now would be saying to myself back then, okay, you need to be doing this to make the moves. And that's how it worked with the future. And I realized that through my own journey, that by healing my past and creating my future and seeing my future, I was actually more fully present and able to help people more here. So I set up my business, Radiant Angel Energy, to actually help people to be fully present in their lives now.
Wow. Wow.
A lot. That's only the tip of the iceberg.
That is a lot. So with this future life thing, aside from all the other amazingness you just shared, is that almost like a psychic kind of thing?
No, not really. It's kind of like connecting to your higher self.
Right.
And to me, everything is energy, and there are lots of different dimensions that we can live in. But it's kind of like you connect with your higher self and your subconscious that allows you to see your future, and it can give you insight in what you need to change now to actually do that. So, an example would be one lad, or his mum came because she brought him along, I should say, because he wasn't sure where to go in college.
Yeah.
What to study. He had an idea of what he wanted. His mum had an idea of what she wanted, and it was like, what to do. So went forward into the future, 5 years into the future, if he did one course, and he saw what he was like, he saw the money he was making, how he was happy, not happy. Then we brought him back, and then I took him 5 years if he went into the other course, one of the other courses. Did he enjoy it? What was he doing? What money was he making? And then he came back. And on both of those, there were good points on both, bad points. It was just. So then I took him into 5 years in the best possible future, doing the best course he could, and he actually came up with a course that was completely different to the other two.
Wow.
That actually gave him more fulfillment, more happiness, more joy, more money, and he actually went and done that course, and he's now come towards the end of it, and he's absolutely loved it.
Wow.
So he was able to see, what would be his best possible future, rather than sticking to the humdrum. He knew now what he was aiming for, which made him a lot happier. So he was happy to study, to learn all that stuff, to help him move forward.
That's amazing. And you saying energy is everything. I can completely relate to you, and I think it's another reason why you're here on this podcast. I've been through a journey of healing over the last year, and my modality of choice has been sound healing and biofield tuning. My sound healer and I have been doing another podcast together known as In Kindness Always, and we talk about all the different aspects of sound healing and energy and all these kind of things. And wow, like when you get on that train, like it is addictive. Like once you get to some point in healing and you experience things you've never experienced before. I know it's really difficult for the layman to understand you and understand what you've been through, but once you let go and you go on that journey, like there's nothing like it in this world. There's no drug that's going to give you that, can I just say?
No.
And it is absolutely incredible. So I think that's why I think what you do is incredible. But I want to know, what's your mission? What do you want to achieve in the work that you do?
But basically what I want to do is I want to is to help others that are crossroads in their life to heal their past, create their future and transform their present, but that they can also take control of their destiny and basically to spread their wings and soar and be who they are truly meant to be, rather than who they think they should be or other people think they should be, to be their authentic self. That's really kind of like my mission, for people to be really happy and content with their lives as it is, and to know where they're going, and make the not make the best of it, but to actually enjoy being here.
And that's it, isn't it? Like once you've had that healing and let go of all these mind loops and things that you get attached to, you really get to know who you are and understanding what you can actually do. And wow, yes, totally on the same page here. So can you tell us about some of the other than the kid that went to uni, can you tell us about some of the people that you've helped and the difference that it's made?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we were to look at past life regression, you don't always go back to where you think you're going to go. You might think you know what needs healing, but it doesn't necessarily mean so. Because I had a lady who came to see me who was a little bit overweight, and she said she wanted to do her own business. She wanted to read tarot and that. She said, I just not doing it. She said, I'm snacking all the time. I feel like if I lose some weight, then I'll go on. I'll start doing it. She said, and someone told me that I must have been starved in a past life.
Really?
Hence why I'm constantly eating now, because that's affecting me. So we went back, and normally when I take people back, I take them back to a past life that needs healing to sort out an issue in the present. And we actually went back 100 or so years.
Wow.
And she wasn't poor. She wasn't being starved. She had a very boring, sedentary life. Nothing really major happened in it. And when we went to the point of death, because I take people to death and then into the in-between to look back on their life. And it was like, so what was your biggest regret from that lifetime? And her biggest regret was that she didn't do anything. She procrastinated. She didn't make anything with her life, which translated into now, instead of going out and doing the tarot reading, she'd snack instead.
Oh, yes. Wow.
She'd be doing that. So where we sort of like killed that, she obviously realised what that was, and that changed a slight, slight thing in her. So she is actually now reading tarot, and she has lost some weight. She's not snacking all the time as she used to do. Which is absolutely amazing. So she thought she was coming because she'd been starved in a past life.
Oh, wow.
But it actually turns out to be procrastination, really, that was holding her up in this lifetime.
Oh, wow, Rae, that's incredible. Like, and I know some of the healing I've been through, we've looked at previous lives, and also, our ancestors as well, and how they actually impact the way we are today. And by healing how we are in the now, it can actually heal that past as well. And that stuff is life-changing. Like if you can shift that, like it can change your now, and you can actually change what the next lives are going to be, or whether this is, your moment to actually make your impact. So can you tell me what's been your biggest challenge in the work that you do, and how did you overcome it?
I think my biggest challenge has been getting people to understand that they need to look after themselves.
Yes.
On an emotional level, not just physical level. People are quite happy to go out and pay for waxing and hair dyes and nails and stuff like that, but they're not willing to actually invest in themselves with their own emotional health, spiritual health, mental health.
Yes.
And it's trying to change people's mindset to say, actually, I could leave my nails for this week and actually go and get myself, have some healing on myself, see what clear something from my past life, move myself forward so that I can actually be more content. And something in the future, I'm not going to worry too much about my nails. So that's been my biggest challenge. But I think by constantly talking about it and people experiencing it, and they can see the benefits, and then and then they're saying to them, well, actually, why don't you go and have this done? This will actually help you a little bit better in your life, sort out some of your issues. So it really is word of mouth, I think, is how you can change people's mindsets for them to actually start investing and looking after themselves internally rather than externally.
So true. And this is a conversation that I've had regularly with my sound healer, and that is, making this a common conversation. Like when you talk to someone about having healing, they'll look at you like, what's going on here? But actually making this the norm, and also like when you look at your well-being as a human, instead of going to the doctor anymore, you're actually you're changing who your practitioners are in modalities. So for me, my two key things, and I'll put this right out here right now, is my two people that I see that make my life complete are my sound healer and my physio. Those two people are my people. Everything else I don't care about anymore. And I used to go to people who didn't give me results, didn't change my life, cost me a lot of money, didn't make a difference. Now I'm seeing people who are changing my life exponentially in so many ways that I can't even measure. And then people look at me and go, well, you're not the person you used to be. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not, because I've healed all that shit and I'm moving on, So
exactly. And then the thing is, when you change, it starts a ripple effect, because people around you see your change and they go, oh, actually, how did that person change? I might look at that. And then they change and the next person changes.
Yes. Because you change yourself. And when I say self, I mean self. So, and that impacts everyone around you, your family, the way you react to how they are with you, your relationships, your conversations, everything you do around you changes because your energy has changed, and what you attract changes, and how you get results in your life changes. So it's a holistic thing, really. Once you get to the root of everything that's causing you pain, everything changes.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And of course, when you start changing your energy, other people's energy changes. And you're talking about ancestors. When we go and we clear stuff in the past, it means your children, your children's children will no longer have those issues that have gone through your generations, because you've put a stop to it. You've cleared it, healed it, so they won't be affected by it.
Yeah, and I think probably the most immediate effect I've had for me ancestrally has been with my mother. The conversations and the relationship and the connection that we have now is completely different to what it used to be.
Mine is.
Yeah, it just makes such a difference. And it's just really difficult to describe, but you kind of change the way what you will and won't accept as well. So you know boundaries, you know what to say at the right time, and how to stand up for yourself, and how to be your own cheerleader, and all of these kind of things that previously you would have just gone, yeah, whatever. So it just, like, both of us are just beaming right now because we totally get it, right? We totally get it.
Like my mum's my biggest supporter now.
Yeah.
Anything I post, she posts it again.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Like, to have that support and that belief unconditionally is just so beautiful. So I got to ask you, can you define what being ethical means to you?
To me, being ethical means being happy as you are, not exploiting others for your own gain, or exploiting them to make you feel better. When you are truly who you are, and you're happy to help others and yourself, then you're so ethical in how you act and how you perceive things and how you do things. So to me, being ethical really is being happy as you. I think that's the main thing for me, being ethical.
Yeah, it's that whole self-acceptance thing, isn't it? Which is something that I've had to get through in this journey. And I think it completely comes back to pretty much everything in your life, like the decisions you make, what you'll accept and what you won't. I love asking that question because I get a different answer every time. And
and it is beautiful that everyone has a different answer, but I'm guessing that it all comes down to the same thing.
Oh, look, if we were to distill this down, I think there's got to be one word that comes out of this, and I'll nail it one day. But yeah.
I like the word love. Two words, unconditional love.
Yeah. I mean, really, when you look at all aspects of it, it does come back to that, and that is so true. So what are your future plans in the work that you're doing?
Well, to teach more people that they can change their lives and take control of their destiny. I don't just practice Angelic Reiki and future life regression, I actually teach it as well. So that more people are teaching it, then more people are using it, and if more people are using it, then that's helping more people raise their vibration, knowing who they are, which in turn starts everybody being more ethical and aware, happy to be content and happy living in the present. So really my thing going forward is teaching more people and getting more people on their journey to know where they're going and what they're doing.
And just in saying that, so with your Angelic Reiki, can you explain the process to us? So like if we were to come down and, sit with you and have an appointment with you, what does that look like?
But basically with Angelic Reiki, which I can do online as all my, apart from the teaching, everything I can do online as well.
So global,
which is quite handy in this time.
Yeah.
But basically it's a bit of a conversation.
Yeah.
And then as a person, they can either lay down or they sit down. And if I'm with them physically, and they're lying down, I'll put their hand on their solar plexus and their higher heart chakra. If they're sitting, I have my hands on my shoulders. If they're online, then I connect distantly to them. And basically what happens is I become a channel for the angelic energy,
right,
to come and do the healing. So with normal Yasai Reiki, you as the practitioner, you will actually place the symbols, the Reiki symbols, the energy healing symbols into the person. Whereas with Angelic Reiki, you don't actually do any of that. It's the angels that do everything for you, because it is human psyche. If you would come to me with a sore shoulder, I would go, oh, I need to heal that shoulder.
Yeah.
Whereas the angels would come in and go, you know something, we're not going anywhere near that shoulder.
Yeah.
We think there's an emotional, another physical, and past life, whatever. We think that needs to be healed, and that's what they'll go and work on. So as you receiving it, I've had people fall asleep.
Yeah.
I've had people go on journeys. I've had people see colours, lights, sounds, smells, feel them being touched. No two people have ever had the same experience with the Angelic Reiki. And then once the session's finished, and we disconnect with the angel, then obviously the people can explain their experience. Now, I've found over the years as I've done Angelic Reiki, I don't pick up as much as I did at the beginning, because I've become a purer vessel or bridge. And it's kind of like, why should I know what's going on with their, this is between them and the angels. It's not me to know. It's for them to tell me at the end how their experience was, not me to tell them how I saw their experience. And then what I normally do is I then do an angel card reading afterwards to clarify what they need to know in their person. Because when I do angel cards or oracle cards, I don't predict the future. It's what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because again, it's all about being present and being in the here and now. And if you know what's going on and how you can deal with it in now, then why do you need to worry about the future? Because it's sorted for you.
So with the angels then, are we talking archangels or?
We're talking about normal angels, archangels. I mean, there are over millions, trillions of different angels. We only know the tip of the iceberg, and we give them names, whereas technically they don't really have names, same as we technically in our energy form don't have names, but we need to put names on them. So it can be angels, it can be archangels, and quite often when you bring the healing angel in, you get guided to maybe bring in an archangel or an ascended master or a galactic person who wants to come and join the healing. So it could be any multitude of energies coming in, or it could just be a particular angel that's coming at that time to help you. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's your guardian angel. It could be any angel that energy is relevant to what you need healing at this moment in time.
So as part of that, would you also sometimes get family members that might have passed that are actually angels as well?
I kind of like, to me, there's a bit of a distinction between that, because you get two lots of, if say like guardian angels, you get guardian angels that are truly angelic beings that have never had a human experience, who are with you from birth. And then you also get some relatives or very close friends who, when they pass, say that they're going to come back and be an angel, be a guide for you. So they're sort of like more guardians for you, and they'll come in. But yes, sometimes during Angelic Reiki, I've had someone who'll say, "Oh, I saw an image of my dad. He was there. He was there with me." So departed loved ones do come in and they do help, but they have to choose to do that. Don't automatically, that's automatically be someone who's looking after me. If that's what their calling is and they choose to do that, then they will do that, and they will make themselves known to you.
Yeah. I found through my healing that my grandmother's constantly with me. And through remote healing that she's here, she's always here, and sometimes she makes herself physically known. So that's quite funny. We were very close. So I can almost tell when she's here. So it's, but also most recently I connected with a psychic, and he actually said that, I would get a message from Archangel Michael or Gabriel. And just a week before, I'd been posting on Facebook about Archangel Gabriel, which was kind of freaky. And then the next week, I interviewed someone who was a woman whose name was Michael, and who was also an energy healer. And I just went, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, I totally get the whole archangel thing and how this all works, and connecting to your higher self. And it's just, and as far as Reiki goes and touch and energy and transference of energy, does it work the same as traditional Reiki?
It is with obviously the Reiki symbols going in, but you really don't need to be moving your hands to the person and placing those symbols. You literally stay in the same place as you are, because you are just bridging the energy. So you're not really being guided to place anything anywhere. So that's the difference. And also the attunements are different as well, because with the normal or your Reiki attunements, it's done from master to teacher to student. So you had the lineage where it comes down. Whereas with Angelic Reiki, the attunements are done directly by the archangels, by the higher beings.
Yeah.
So you don't need to see the same person. So if someone was to train in Angelic Reiki 1 and 2 with me, to go and do 3 and 4, they could go to any other Angelic Reiki teacher, because the attunements aren't done through me; they are done directly through the angelic realms.
Wow.
So that's really the main difference is the attunement and not having to know and place the symbols everywhere.
So do you then have that really incredible intuition where when you meet someone you pick up on their energy and what's happening with them?
I do pick up on energy. I shield myself quite a lot. I have so I don't take on people's people's energy. But yeah, I'll pick up. I mean, I don't see. I'm not one of those that sees stuff.
Yeah.
I'm more of a person that knows. So it's like, okay, I know that's happening.
Yeah.
When I'm doing my teachings or talking to people, quite often I have no idea what's coming out of my mouth, because practically whenever I'm talking about this, it's all channeled.
Yes.
It's like wherever it's come from, and I can never remember the conversations afterwards. So when people go, "Yeah, you were telling me this and this," and I don't remember that at all.
My healer says the same thing. She's like, I don't remember. I would need to go back there to know. So I'm like, okay, cool, yep. But you know what? We realised recently that I have developed medium talents. So
cool.
I get these messages, and then they're for certain people that I need to then go and tell them. And it's kind of like, and it kind of sounds weird, right? Not to you, of course.
No.
But it's kind of like a marketing medium. So I'll just get words, and I'll be like, and then I'll get a person's face, and I'll be like, oh, that's for them. And then I'll go tell them, and they go, oh my God, I needed that. Or it'll be for me, and I'll be like, oh, right, so get this right now. Like, and there's stuff coming through, and I go, and it's usually at your calmest, least distracted moments that these things come through. And over time you get to learn, okay, this is what this is, and this is what I need to do with it. And, obviously I've been told by, psychics and healers that meditation is a really important thing, because, in those calm moments is when you get these messages. But for me, meditation's not when that happens. It's when I'm in the shower. It's when I'm, zoned out making a coffee or something. That's when it comes through. So, or it might be that, like when you're in the zone with something and you're not really here, but you're somewhere else, that's when I get it. So when I'm at my most creative, this stuff comes through, and I have to just share it with people, because I think it's a gift that I have to give.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's flowed through to my business as well, in everything that I do, and even in my government job that I have. Like there's things that have just popped out of my mouth, and I went, I'm sorry, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. And they go, yep, we know. They've got used to me now that I can just, let this stuff out and go, whoops, that one was not me. So, and I think this is when we get so attuned with ourselves, like the beauty of what we can do is just incredible.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Every single one of us, has what we as humans class as talents or gifts. We've all got these. It's just where you are to whether you accept them or not, and whether you allow them to come out. Yeah, meditation is an easy way for people. It's an easy way for people to start. They should be teaching meditation to children from the time they're born.
Yes.
As we wouldn't have as many of the issues with young people that we have now if that was to happen. But yeah, it is also at those moments, you're off to sleep, suddenly it'll be like, that idea. Yeah, or you're reading something and you kind of like lose the words of the book. Very rare for me, because once I'm in a book, that's it, I've got to finish the whole thing off. Or listening to some music and then the music fades. You can feel so relaxed and chilled out, and then suddenly something comes into your head. It's like, oh, right, okay, I need to do that.
Yeah. And Oh, it's just an amazing thing, and to capture that, I think is really important, and being aware of those talents and those messages and just everything that's happening around you. Like sometimes for me, it feels like things are in slow motion. Like you're just like, oh, I just saw what the universe was doing there. Yep, I got it. So I think once you've got that level of awareness, it really, really helps you to understand how this universe has got everything under control.
Exactly. We've got to remember we're all connected. We all come from the same source of energy. We are all connected. I'm you, you're me. I'm this computer in front of me. We're all the same energy. We're just vibrating on different levels, which make us our own unique individuals.
And it's funny, because I kind of had a revelation in the middle of a Facebook Live the other day, and it just came through that what people do today impacts my tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what you do over there in the UK impacts me here in Brisbane. So
yeah,
and this at a time like now that we're in, I think is even more obvious because we're all in this together. Like
exactly.
Yeah. So
again, so it's like if you can see what your future actions will be, you can make the change now.
So true, so true. So Rae, how can people find out more about you and get involved in what you do?
Or they can find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Radiant Angel Energy, and each day an angel saying gets posted on there. I also do my own live show every Monday evening UK time, 8 p.m, called Angels and Destiny, where I speak to guests who impart their wisdom and knowledge to help others on there. YouTube channel, they get posted on there. Again, Radiant Angel Energy. And my website is www.radiantangelenergy.co.uk. I have an Instagram, Radiant Angel Energy. So just type in Radiant Angel Energy and you'll find me across all social media.
Oh, we'll be all over that, don't you worry. So, Rae, my final and penultimate question for you, which I ask everyone, and I truly love this, and I think this one was channeled. What's the change you'd like to see in the world, and how can we bring it to life?
The change I would like to see is people actually being more community-based and actually thinking about other people and not just themselves. To truly help others, and that doesn't necessarily mean financially, but emotionally and spiritually. I'd like to see us go back to the old system of bartering. So you swap one thing for another thing. Because technically, money is energy,
It is.
We need and in this time we need money to be able to survive, to live, to be able to help more people. In their life. So I'd like to see more community based and people actually helping each other out. Because when we start helping each other out, I bake bread. Well, I make posters. Well, let's do a swap. That kind of thing. And I think we're going to start seeing that now. Anyway, with what's going on at the moment, that is starting to happen. Groups have been set up. Oh, do you need me to? I need some toilet roll. Oh yeah, I've got a pack. You can have that. There was a thing the other day. An old lady in the supermarket. She didn't have enough money for something. She hadn't bought a lot. She said, "Oh, what can I put back to bring it to my thing?" And a woman, 3 things down, just came up, tapped on the contact list card, and went, "I'll pay for it."
Yeah. Paying it forward pays back. It really does.
Oh, it really does. And that's the thing, if you help someone not expecting anything back, then you get things back threefold.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing. And that's what I think we can start doing. And I think that's coming into play now, which is absolutely beautiful.
So, Rae, I just got the words karmic intention.
Oh, I like that.
So, I think that's kind of where we need to be right now in what the world's facing is actually, what you put out there now and help others with is what's going to come back to you threefold. And no matter what's happening in the world, I think that's where we've got to be. And
yeah, totally.
When you're on that mission and you want to help others, I think that shines through, and success or whatever you want to achieve is going to follow.
Which is more people just living in unconditional love. That is the ultimate goal, is everyone living and understanding, accepting unconditional love.
Well, I think you need to go down the road and see Boris, because I think you need to go change the UK right now.
Although, to be quite truthful, I think he's actually not done too bad. He was actually quite liberal, by giving people the choice, giving them a chance to do it, and they've ignored him, and he's gone, okay, well,
right, yeah. You had your chance, now that's it. I did see him on the news tonight. I went, oh gosh, you know what? Getting an address from a dude like that, it's like, all right, I'm going to sit up and listen. And then I look at our Prime Minister and I go, oh, righto. Anyway, I know
that's a whole other subject.
I know, right? Like, let's not go there. But I was just like, there's something about the English where you just go, you got to sit up and listen. And so I do wish you well, Rae, and thank you so much for joining us on the Ethical Evolution. It's been an absolute energetic moment together, and I love it.
The energy has been absolutely immense. It's been absolutely lovely.
It's so electric
thank you very
in here.
much for inviting me on your show.
Yeah, so I think if you could see us both now, we're just lit up, like literally.
We are, literally.
And so don't tell me that energy does not transfer globally, because it does. We've just made that happen.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you so much, Rae.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Ethical Evolution podcast. If you're an ethical business owner, change maker, or holistic healer who's determined to make a change in the world and you need support to spread your message, visit ethicalchangeagency.com to collaborate.
If you're a working professional wondering what's next for your career, you've come to the right place. Whether you're looking for a promotion, growth, or a potential career transition, look no further. With over 30 years working in a variety of industries, I share my insider knowledge with those ready to get ahead on Career Advancement with Craig Ansell. Tune in to get your strategies for success.
Welcome to Tuning Into Sound Wellbeing, where we harmonise your mind, body and soul. I'm Amanda, your sound therapy expert.
And I'm Stephen, the curious explorer uncovering the mysteries of sound.
Together we explore vibrations, frequencies and the power of sound therapy and tuning forks.
Discover ancient wisdom, reduce stress and tune into a healthier life. Subscribe to Tuning Into Sound Wellbeing today.
Electric acid.